Hi, ladies. I need you to stay with me until the end of this one, because what I'm about to share isn't just about smell, it's about your health, your confidence, and your dignity. Doctors are quietly warning older women that certain foods, yes, foods you probably eat regularly, are making your urine smell worse. And even worse than that, that odor can stick to your skin, your underwear, and your clothing, even if you wash. This isn't just embarrassing. It can lead to infections, skin irritation, and social withdrawal. 1. Asparagus, the infamous smell culprit. Let's start with the one we've all heard whispers about, asparagus. Now, I don't know about you, but I used to steam a few stalks and feel proud of myself. Look at me eating clean, I'd think. But I started noticing something not so clean about 30 minutes later. That's strange. Almost chemical smell in the bathroom. That was asparagus. And let me tell you, it's not just in your head. Doctors say asparagus contains a compound called asparagustic acid. Sounds harmless, right? But when our bodies break it down, it creates sulfur-based byproducts. And sulfur, as you might know, is the same element that gives rotten eggs and skunk spray their charming aroma. Here's where it gets more serious. In younger women, those byproducts pass through the system more quickly. But as we age, our metabolism and kidney filtration slow down. So instead of being flushed out quickly, those smelly compounds linger in our bladder. And worse, they cling to the skin in our intimate areas. And I don't mean just for a minute or two. When that sulfur sticks to warm, damp skin, like around the groin or under the belly fold, the smell can stay for hours. I've spoken to women who swore they were washing regularly and changing their underwear, yet couldn't figure out why there was a lingering pee smell by midday. Some even worried they were developing incontinence or a bladder infection, but it was asparagus. Just asparagus. Now, I'm not telling you to never eat it again, but if you do, make sure you're drinking plenty of water, emptying your bladder often, and washing with gentle soap, especially in areas where moisture gets trapped. Remember, it's not about shame. It's about understanding our bodies better as we age. 2. Coffee, the hidden dehydrator. Coffee, my warm hug in a mug, my morning ritual, my lifeline before 8 a.m. But I need to warn you, especially if you're over 60, coffee is quietly making your urine smell stronger, more acidic, and more stubborn. Most of us know coffee is a diuretic, meaning it makes you urinate more. But here's what most women don't realize. The more you urinate without drinking enough water to replenish what you've lost, the more concentrated your urine becomes. Think of it like this. If water is a sponge that dilutes odor, caffeine is the fire that dries the sponge out. But there's more. Coffee contains polyphenol and aromatic oils, especially the darker roast varieties. These compounds, while delicious in a latte, can break down into volatile substances in your body. Once filtered by your kidneys, they're expelled in your urine, and they don't smell like roses. In fact, they create a sharp, slightly sour or burnt scent, one that can cling to toilet bowls, underwear, and even skin. Now, let's add age into the mix. As we get older, our skin gets thinner, our sweat glands change, and we often sit for longer periods, especially in retirement. If you're having a second or third coffee without hydrating properly, and then sitting on a chair or in the car for hours, that warm, moist environment around the perineal area becomes a breeding ground for bacteria, and the smell intensifies. I've known women who thought they had a hygiene problem, a bladder infection, or even worse, a prolapse, when in reality, it was just too much coffee and not enough water. If this sounds like you, don't panic. You don't need to quit coffee forever. But try this. Pair every cup of coffee with a glass of water. Limit yourself to 1 strong cup a day if you're sensitive. And if you drink it black, consider switching to a smoother blend with less roast. The darker the roast, the more potent the compounds. You don't have to give up joy. You just have to be one step smarter than your body's little surprises. 3. Cruciferous vegetables. Yes, even the healthy ones. Now, this one might surprise you. It shocked me the first time I heard it. Cruciferous vegetables. Yes, the very ones that doctors praise. Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, cabbage, kale. They're full of fiber, vitamins, and they help fight cancer. But here's the secret no one tells you. They're also loaded with glucosinolates, sulfur-rich compounds that smell awful when broken down by your body. Let me explain. When you chew these veggies, your body begins converting those glucosinolates into hydrogen sulfide, a gas that smells like rotten eggs. This gas enters your bloodstream and eventually gets filtered out by your kidneys and released through your urine and even your sweat. Now, in younger people, this process is quick. The system flushes things out, and the skin barrier keeps odors from lingering. But in older women, especially postmenopause, there are 3 major changes working against us. Our metabolism slows, so breakdown takes longer. Our sweat composition changes with more ammonia and sulfur compounds. Our skin becomes thinner, making it easier for odors to stick. I had one friend in her 70s who said she felt like she smelled sour for hours after eating cabbage soup. Another said her urine started smelling stronger after switching to a clean diet full of kale and Brussels sprouts. It's not in your head, it's chemistry. These veggies are powerful, but they're also potent. If you notice your urine smelling funky after a stir fry or salad, or you feel like your body odor changed, these greens could be the reason. What's the fix? Cook them instead of eating them raw. Heat reduces the sulfur impact. Space them out over the week instead of having them every day. And again, drink plenty of water and urinate regularly. Don't hold it in. The longer it sits in your bladder, the more intense the odor becomes. Healthy eating is good, but you have to listen to your body. If the side effect is a smell that makes you self-conscious, don't feel guilty, just adjust and stay empowered. 4. Red meat, the slow-digesting stinker. Oh yes, this one might ruffle a few feathers. Red meat, the steak, the lamb roast, the juicy burger on a Saturday night. Delicious? Absolutely. But after 60, your body might not agree with it the way it used to. And the results? Let's just say they can be smelled before they're ever spoken. Red meat is high in protein, especially something called purines. When these break down, your body produces uric acid and ammonia, 2 waste products that exit through your urine. Here's where it gets tricky for us older women. As we age, our kidney function slows down, meaning waste is expelled more slowly. Our digestive tract becomes sluggish, often due to less stomach acid or reduced gut motility. And we may drink less water, whether on purpose to avoid frequent bathroom trips or unintentionally. So instead of the red meat being broken down and flushed cleanly out of our system, it lingers. The ammonia builds up, mixes with other compounds in the bladder, and the urine starts to smell strong, sour, and meaty. And yes, I've had women actually describe it that way. Worse still, the ammonia doesn't just sit in the urine. It can seep into surrounding areas, especially if you wear tight clothing or synthetic fabrics that don't breathe. Your underwear, thighs, and even lower belly can absorb and hold on to that smell, especially if you're sweating or not changing pads or liners frequently. And here's something few women know. High-protein diets in older women can increase the risk of urinary tract infections, which also cause stronger-smelling urine, like fish or even bleach. So what starts as a food choice becomes a health problem. That doesn't mean you have to stop eating red meat entirely, but maybe cut back to once or twice a week, especially if you're noticing stronger bathroom odors. Always pair meat with fiber-rich foods like leafy greens or whole grains. These help your gut process and eliminate it faster. And stay hydrated before and after. Water dilutes ammonia and reduces lingering smells. It's not about giving up pleasure. It's about balance and body awareness, something we older women are blessed to get better at with time. 5. Alcohol, the smell that lingers longer in seniors. And now, let's talk about the one people really don't want to admit to. Alcohol. Whether it's your nightly glass of wine, a gin and tonic with a friend, or a little sherry while watching the telly, it might seem harmless. But for older women, alcohol isn't just relaxing, it's one of the most underestimated causes of strong-smelling urine and body odor. Here's why. When you drink alcohol, your liver processes it into acetaldehyde, a toxic compound that your body wants to get rid of fast. Your liver, kidneys, and skin all jump into action. But as we age, our liver slows down, meaning more of these toxins float around longer, and more of it is pushed out through urine and sweat. Have you ever noticed that stale, slightly sour, or yeasty smell the morning after drinking, even if you bathed? That's your body literally sweating out alcohol and its byproducts, and the bladder isn't immune. In fact, the more you drink, the more dehydrated you become. And the more dehydrated you are, the more concentrated your urine becomes. It's not just about smell either. Alcohol also irritates the bladder lining, especially in women over 60. This can cause more frequent urination, leakage, or even a mild burning sensation. And that irritation can mix with odor-causing bacteria and make everything, well, worse. Some women I know said they noticed their underwear started smelling musty or like vinegar after a few glasses of wine. One woman thought she had an infection. She didn't. It was her Friday wine night catching up to her bladder on Saturday. Here's what you can do instead. If you drink, try to limit yourself to one drink and avoid drinking right before bed. Make sure to drink at least one full glass of water per drink. This helps flush things out. Consider switching to lower sugar options. Sugar and alcohol, like in cocktails or sweet wines, can feed odor-causing bacteria in the urinary tract. And always urinate before going to sleep to prevent sitting in strong-smelling urine overnight. You don't have to stop living, but you do have to listen to what your body is whispering. And sometimes that whisper smells a little off.